right. So hi guys. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Tanner Boucher. I'm a sophomore here at the college, and I'm just gonna briefly talk to you about the internship I did that traditionally goes along with this class as the TA role. So previous TAs have interned with DOs and MDs. I chose a PA, and I worked at this place. This is a Google Maps like street view image because there's obviously even snow on the ground right now, or right then. So it's a pretty quaint little place in Unity, Maine. Pretty small, like central Maine town. So definitely, we had an interesting patient base. I interned with the woman on the left, Susan Piotti. That's her husband, John, on the right. Fun fact, he's the president of the American Farmland Trust, but that doesn't really matter. Susan spent 16 years in the ER, I think in Waterville, and then 15 years at the family practice at Unity. So she's really, really experienced. She's been doing it forever. She's really, really sweet and very politically engaged, so we like to talk about that when we're not seeing patients. So I spent most of my time with Susan. The name on the bottom, Charles Kriegel, or Dr. Charlie as the people at the office call him. I interned with him for one day when Susan was down in DC for the Women's March. He was really nice. He had kind of like a more direct teaching approach. He'd like to like show me stuff that Susan would, excuse me, that Susan wouldn't. So even though I only spent one day with him, it was pretty useful. But they basically did the same thing. Also the office had a PA, a DO, and a doctor, and they all did basically the same thing, except for the only difference is that the doc had to sign for the DO and the PA's sheets. So that was one interesting thing. So this is one of the pictures. I blurred out the faces because I didn't know if I should do that, so I decided I should. Something that was super interesting about being in Unity, Maine was that it was predominantly white, lower middle class people that came in to see. I saw no minorities the whole time, which was really not strange because it's central Maine, but it was definitely interesting. And I saw everything you could think of. On the first day, I helped pop this like big cyst on the back of this guy's neck, which was really cool. That was the only surgical thing we got to do, unfortunately. But yeah, so this kid right here, he was feeling really sleepy. He had a headache, and so Susan didn't really know what was going on, so she like would order like lab tests and stuff. And then, so that was an example of kind of like a little kid. And then these two people on the right, this was really sad. The guy on the right, his wife of like 55 years had like just died a few weeks ago. And so a big part of what Susan does is just really comforting the people. It's not like Charlie had kind of a more direct style, like, okay, you're sick, here's what you should do. Susan was more of like, how are you doing? Like, how's your life? What can I do to help you, like with your personal issues, in addition to your medical issues? So that was really interesting and really touching to see. So yeah, what did I learn? I learned a lot about obviously like family medicine. A lot of people have back pain. A lot of people have headaches. A lot of sinus infections just for the time of the season. A lot of birth control stuff. I learned a lot about birth control because there's a lot of women like similar to your guys' age who'd come in wondering whether they should get like the Mirena or an Explanon or stay on the birth control pills. So that was really super interesting. I didn't really know much about that. So I thought that was something really worthwhile I learned. I learned a lot about just kind of like my relative fortunates. I have like a few injuries right now, but I realized that like other than that, I'm like pretty mentally healthy and fortunate that I go to Colby and am not like addicted to cigarettes and weigh 290 pounds and live in Unity on like probably welfare. So yeah, even though I'm going through some stuff, it gave me some perspective which was really beautiful. I really lucked out being able to have that position. That was probably my biggest takeaway from this thing. Yeah, and so the other project I was working on, or not, so this wasn't really a project, but a project I was working on with Tom kind of concerns this funky looking thing right here. So Tom's goal is to have all the models in the lab, whether it be like this, like larynx thing right here, or the bigger human body models or musculature models. He wants kind of to have those 3D objects be able to be manipulatable in a 2D interface. So what I did, I built this little contraption right here. It spins. It's got like a little Lazy Susan base to it. You can kind of see like these dots, these calibration dots. So you can see the back. This little guy kind of spins around. And so the reason this was built, there's a software called 3D SOM Pro, and basically what you do is you have this thing like mounted up here, and you take a low angle shot and a high angle shot, and then you do that 15 times, like as you rotate it like this each time. You take some like further like higher angle shots at the end, and you plug all those pictures into the software, so there's also like a big white backdrop, so it can determine like what is model and what is not. So yeah, you plug that stuff all into the software. It's a pretty big learning curve. It took me a really long time to get a decent model, but I got one. Let's see, is this gonna work? Not. No. Oh shit. Is there an undo button on Macs? Oh wait, yeah, right here. File. Do you know why I can't paste? Oh, there it goes. Okay. Hopefully this works. Yeah, cool. So yeah, like I said, that's the larynx. Just a pretty small model. I haven't. There are ways to do the bigger models, but I haven't really figured that out yet. Let's see. So yeah, this was my first really successful. Is it gonna go? It's really slow. But you guys get the idea. So if this wasn't running through all this projection stuff, it'd be really smooth and a nice interface. And you can rotate this thing in all 3 dimensions. And yeah, really fun project to work on. I'm working with, some of you guys know Josh Martin. He's interested in this stuff. So I've been fortunate enough to get in contact with him. He works with insects, so it's a little bit different, but same general like process. So I wasn't able to like do all the models in the lab. So Tom's vision is kind of for me to have, or kind of to establish this protocol, and then to have one of you guys, the TA for next year, in conjunction with myself, like have you do like more of the modeling and more of the photography, and just kind of have like another project for you guys to work on in addition to the internship. This is really cool because this is kind of where this stuff is moving. The future's now, I guess, and so this is definitely going to become a bigger part of Colby and the science branch in particular. So really excited about this stuff, and yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you guys.